Hello, everybody. Welcome to Esports Go. I'm Justin Gillerman.
And I'm Matt Brown. It's been 5 weeks in the Overwatch League, and man, were we treated to a wild finish. Let's start with a look back at the match that led up to the 3-team Stage 1 playoffs. The Boston Uprising and Houston Outlaws were two teams on a collision course with all the momentum they picked up from key wins in the last couple weeks. We start the highlight out on Dorado. The Uprising need to win here if they want to go to the playoffs. If they win in a 5-map match, they miss the cut. The Outlaws attack first and make it to the last turn, but they are stopped by the Uprising. Dream Casper falls but is resurrected by Kelix. He turns on the Outlaws, taking them out, and the Uprising have set themselves up for a win. The Outlaws' defense delays them, but they are no match for the aggressive playstyle of the Uprising. They easily make it past point 2. It comes down to overtime. Dream Casper is setting up for a big Dragon Blade, but he is stunned and taken out by Linkser. The Uprising don't have any huge damage dealing ultimates to take out the Outlaws. They are taken out and the Outlaws win map 4. We're heading to Lijiang Tower, and there are only 2 possibilities left for the playoffs. 1, the Outlaws win and they go to the playoffs. 2, the Uprising win and the Los Angeles Valiant make it to the playoffs. The 2 teams split the first 2 rounds, bringing us to a nail-biting round 3. The Uprising clear out the Outlaws with Note and Dream Casper leading the charge. They take the point first. A few moments later, Note is the last man on the point and the Outlaws take the point. Dream Casper lands a barrage on the Outlaws, but he is taken out, although it still looks like the Uprising will be able to take back the point until the cavalry arrives. Jake fights off Striker in the corner, securing the point with a tactical crouch. In overtime, the delay from the Uprising's 2 tanks is not enough, and the Outlaws win map 5. They finish with a 3-2 victory and are heading to the playoffs. So the Outlaws took out the Uprising and sealed the deal as the 3rd seed in the playoffs. They handled the pressure and pulled off the big victory.
Yeah, not that it was a question, but the Outlaws had arguably the easiest path to the playoffs. Win, they get in. Yeah. They win in a huge 3-2 win against the Uprising. That second map ended up being eliminating the Valiant, so the Valiant didn't have to really wait around anymore. But the Outlaws stayed hot. They defeated a team. They had won 5 games in a row, and they find themselves in Stage 1 of the semifinals. And in that semifinal game, they faced a London Spitfire team who they had defeated 3-1 on Thursday, so this definitely had the revenge game label for the Spitfire. Could the Outlaws make it 2 wins in 1 week, or could the Spitfire find a way into the finals? Let's head to the highlights. We take you to map 4, Eichenwald, where the Spitfire only need 1 more map to win the best of 5 and move on to the finals. The Spitfire on attack first, but it's all about Linkser on the first point. He takes out several members of the Spitfire with satisfying headshots. A Diva Bomb from Fury divides the Outlaws and the Spitfire conquer. They take out the players one by one to capture point A. The Spitfire's attack is stopped just short of point B. The team is staggered, and with only 2 tanks against the entire Outlaws team, they have to give up the push. The Outlaws' attack is not as strong, and they're being picked off before they can even contest the capture point. Like here, where Gesture pulls 2 Outlaws members off the side of the cliff. The Outlaws have one last chance to keep their playoff hopes alive, but Prophet has a thing to say about that. Rip tire into your back line. Without Jake's Tracer on Bunny's mercy, the Outlaw are taken off the point, and the Spitfire win the best of 5 with a 3-1 victory. They're heading to the finals. Now, Matt, there's that old saying in sports, it's hard to beat a team 2 times in 1 season, and the Spitfire came out looking like an entirely different team and really shut down everything that the Outlaws had, and they executed a different game plan than they had on the Thursday matchup that they had lost to the Outlaws 3-1. It kind of caught the Outlaws off guard. I think the Outlaws were really expecting to play the same way.
Yeah, the Spitfire executed their adjustments from that loss very well. As the season goes on, London seems to get mentally stronger, and their confidence has grown a lot, and it carried over into the finals. So after 2 grueling matches, the Spitfire picked themselves up and went to work for the 3rd time in the same day. And speaking of adjustments, they played the team that beat them earlier 3-2, the New York Excelsior. Here it is, the highlights of the Stage 1 final. We start on map 2, Oasis. The Spitfire managed to get the point to 99%, but the XL take it over in overtime. They hold it the rest of the game. In overtime again, Mono goes hunting for some picks to secure the win. He gets the Mercy and chases away the McCree, securing round 1. Round 2, it's the exact same storyline. The Spitfire get the map to a 99-0 before the XL are able to take it over. They hold it until overtime again, and Say by Olby goes ham. That's right, he goes H-A-M on the point to secure the map 2 win. The XL only need one more map to win the best of 5, and the Spitfire, though, answer back and win the next 2 maps. We're heading to a final map 5 on Dorado. The Spitfire attack first, led by Gesture. They easily make it past point 2. The last turn on point 3 is a little more difficult, and despite Birdwing's best efforts, they are stopped just there. The XL have set themselves up for a victory. Before a point, Libero Dragon Blades and takes out a large chunk of the Spitfire team, and he is taken out, but the XL secure the first point. The push to point 2 proves more difficult, and the Spitfire get great pickoffs like this Prophet Riptire against the XL, preventing them from getting a good push. Libero tries to pull off a great Dragon Blade, but he is countered by the Zenyatta and dies alone in a corner. The XL are left with only enough time for one more great push and do not succeed. In the end, no one is close enough to touch the point, and the Spitfire win. They are your Overwatch League Season 1 Stage 1 champions. And Justin, the Spitfire just never gave up. They were outgunned in maps 1 and 2. They had their backs against the wall in map 3 and still found a way to get over the hump and beat the XL. This was a classic and everything you want out of a final.
Purely unbelievable. Wrapping it up on their 14th map of the day. All the talk about was coming, the Outlaws were the hottest team. Yeah. XL were just too good, but no. We got the London Spitfire coming back from losing earlier in the day to the XL. Then they beat the Outlaws, then reverse sweep the New York Excelsior on their way to winning Stage 1. Just some unbelievable play by Prophet, and Birdwing and the XL had no answer for them. I don't know what people were expecting for Stage 1 of the Overwatch League for the drama, but this exceeded my expectations by a million. This is why there is an Overwatch League, because we get to see all this right away. I can't wait for Stage 2 to start right away. Now moving on to everyone's favorite segment, the Heroes and Zeros. My hero for today has to be the London Spitfire as a whole. They were firing on all cylinders to pull off the reverse sweep against the XL. There was not one hero from the squad. The entire squad, they all performed today. 14 games, over 14 hours at the studio, and they get a much deserved reward of $100,000. Well done, London Spitfire.
Now, my pick for hero is also a 0, and it depends on how you look at it here. Watch this. The analytics and game strategy coach for the Philadelphia Fusion gave the Fusion an incentive for their fight against the XL a few weeks ago. If they beat them, he would dress up as Cat Diva, and the Fusion succeeded, and the rest is history. Oh man, Justin, I bet Overwatch didn't expect this particular cosplay when they created the special skin for that character. All right, let's take a quick break. Stay with us. This is Esports Go.
Welcome back to Esports Go. Overwatch League Commissioner Nate Nanzer has proposed, or at least tweeted, that there will be some schedule changes for the Stage 2 playoffs. Despite Stage 1 starting with a huge success, some people close to the league and fans alike were questioning the fact that the London Spitfire had to play 14 games in order to secure the Stage 1 grand prize. The proposal, starting the Stage 2 playoffs on Sunday. This idea has already some fans way more relieved. Barky OW tweeted in response, "Great idea. I think most people who watch esports are accustomed to finals being on Sunday, and the hype that builds from the daybreak makes people really excited." Where Vargandras tweeted, "Looking forward to it. Don't get me wrong, I can watch Overwatch League 24/7, but it's just not fair for one of the teams to play 3 games in a row. For those who already bought Stage 2 tickets for Saturday, they will receive free tickets for Sunday if the schedule change goes through, according to Nanzer."
ESL has suspended a rule to let players transfer teams between a qualifier stage and a major event. This decision comes ahead of the IEM Katowice and allows teams like Virtus Pro, Team Liquid, and Renegades to bring in new players who weren't with them during the qualifiers. The original reasoning for Rule 212.11 is to prevent the rich from getting richer, so to speak. No team can just poach a player from another team that performed well during the qualifiers to do the same for them. But since there were so many teams basically switching players in this event, they suspended this rule for the time being. ESL states that they will review the rule to decide whether this suspension should turn into a full change of the rule. All right, enjoy the upcoming week, and while you're at it, don't forget to browse our website, challengemedia.tv, for all your gaming news.
Also, check us out and follow us on Facebook and Twitter as well. We'll be here with the best moments from Stage 1 and previews for Stage 2 the rest of the week. Thank you for watching. Take care. We'll see you next time.